You know, there are some people, in as much as be defending its workable and lack of knowledge, there are some people who are just crooked. Even workplace,
the Information and Communications Technology Authority, ZECTA, has started investigating a new social media scam in which several people have been swindled of their money on the pretext that they will earn more money.
This woman, a pastor's wife, has been caught up in a dispute involving other people's savings. Regina Piri was arrested after a village banking group involving church members went sour. Police spokesperson Esther Katongo explains.
As police, we've arrested a 31-year-old female adult of Alphondale who has been charged with one count of theft. It is alleged that on unknown dates, but between August 15 and September 25th, 2020, she stole some money amounting to 442,000 kwacha. Then there are other matters which police are investigating involving 1.2 million kwacha. The same suspect swindled other village banking groups, and this is the matter which is still under investigation.
Is it legal to have a savings group? Yes, it's legal, but within the confine of a closed user group of non-members, and it shouldn't be too large a number. Usually 10 to, in fact around 10 is the most acceptable number for a savings group. But I think with time, things are evolving. We are seeing savings groups becoming larger and larger. Because once they become larger, I think the most important thing, they need to now formalize themselves.
Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching us from, this is Kutika and stay tuned.
Okay, my name is Owen Muzi. Today we've got a new guest, my good friend of mine. We come from a long way. This is Mlanga, David. Meet Mlanga.
Mlanga, great to meet you, you know. In as much as, where's my sanitizer? They say, no, we've already sanitized, don't get it. In as much as we're living in the COVID era, we know our protocols. Yeah.
So this is my good friend, so I thought of bringing him here. He's well knowledgeable about different topics, and we come a long way. Yeah, even during job hunting, we would go together on foot and we would talk.
You struggle together, you come together from the struggle.
We talk together.
Who found the job first between the two?
I think I was. I was the one.
Yeah, so basically, that's Mlanga. I'm Mlanga, this is MD. We come a long way as well. And
I'm a straight friend.
from church all the way into society.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a show,
Great to meet you on the show,
Nice to meet you.
In as much as I met you in the background, but this for you guys, you know. I think something that I've been coming across and has been crossing my mind is the modes of investment that has been persisting. I'm going to zone in particularly into Zambia. Like, yes, we've got a broad range of investments that people invest in, based on the income. But when you talk about the typical Zambian, I mean, by typical, I mean the level of income from low income to middle income, who are the majority. We're not yet a very affluent society where you find people don't have got 100,000 just to invest and forget about it. But those people that literally earn between minimum wage to whatever, they are more drawn to invest into a concept called village banking. So I want us to dissect what village banking is and why are people more drawn to that as opposed to other modes of investment. What ideas do you have about village banking? Have you heard about village banking?
Yeah, village banking is very common in Zambia, and I also
you're part of it?
I also participated in it. So village banking basically is coming up with a group, and you agree on an amount you want to put together so that you can empower each other. So for instance, we'd say every month you empower one individual. So if you are a group of 5 or 10, the 9 of you give the 10th person in that month. In the next month, the other person is given until the circle goes like that. Then you start in the new year like that.
So does that mean it's not supposed to exceed 12 months if you say within a year everyone's supposed to have an income? Or can it grow more than 12 people?
So I've seen groups that are even bigger as 50. Wow. I think they segment it in such a way, maybe they give 4 in one particular month. So
Or for individuals?
4 individuals in one particular month.
But speaking of that, I would want to. Do we have a background where how this thing started here in this country? How everything came
Yeah,
about?
it
Because you know, there's something that I'm drawn to.
Yes.
I think you might be familiar with the word. Before it came to village banking, I got to hear a lot about chirimba, especially with the marketeers.
Yes.
You know, where they would say, Tiponya chirimba, you know, that kind of thing, Tiponya ramzatu lero. So it comes from that background.
Or it's
So-
same thing or what?
Yes,
Is
because
it-
for me, I want to see it from that angle. It looks like it's the same thing,
Yeah.
but it's like now when the literate people got wind of it, they changed the name and spice
So
it to
it's just a matter of branding, but the concept is literally the same thing.
yes,
isn't
the
it?
same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like they
So-
spice it up and for it to
So
sound,
actually, the people who caught it first were the marketeers.
oh yes,
So these working class now, they have a bit more.
So is it marketeers from here or where's the source?
So basically, from research, village banking is more prominent in Brazil. It started there. Mostly started as cooperatives. They would register a cooperative of 10 and they would empower one another like that and rotate the funds. So as it was growing, I think, Zambia lent a lot of cooperative ideas from Brazil as well as Israel. I think those who were sent to go and learn the cooperative model are the ones that brought the Ichilimba now to the marketeers.
in the old times, I do not know now. I don't see it that much, but I want to believe in our compounds it's still there.
Yeah.
But I'm foreseeing a situation where the times when we were growing up,
Yeah.
where there's a funeral, there will always be people passing through and actually
Collecting
so
food
there's
stuff.
a
Yeah.
meal
That
and
was-
stuff. Yeah, so I want to believe the concept started from that in this country. So it started from there. So also the marketeers, when they got wind of that, if we could help each other in terms of the
That's
funeral
what-
time when we need, because it was, I want to believe it was a difficult time for a family to feed the people that came through for the funeral.
Yeah.
So it was one way of community helping each other.
Yes.
Then the marketeers got the concept and actually converted into funds or money, where they'll be like, someone wants to buy, could be furniture. In the first place, I think started
Even capital
yeah.
for the particular.
Maybe could capital for anything, business or furniture in the house where you want to buy, but come on, you don't have them
The resources
maybe
to
the resources
buy
to-
them once.
So when maybe 10 people contribute a certain amount, you'll be able to afford that, then you
Yes.
go and buy. So it became like a circle.
The actual concept of Chilimba came from those, and you can. I think one of the things that you can that can make you sure that this started as a model of cooperative, because most markets,
Yeah.
if you know, they were run by cooperative. Then to add to what you've just said,
Yeah.
then they were agreeable to say, okay, if for the funeral we are able to help each other like this. So even those who were introducing this model, I think those are some of the examples they would
Examples and
add
ideas.
to the idea, and then
Here are my reservations about this. It seems like for whatever concept that to work, it's based on the trust that they have, the people have on money. Because the news that I've come across, especially when it comes to here in Zambia,
Yeah.
find that an individual is given a so amount of money, you will see it on the screen, and then he or she runs away with that money. So how does that concept work, where you give an individual and that person runs away with the money? So is it based on trust? Are there any contracts involved? What the hell is Chilimba? What the hell is village banking? And why? How is it so easy for someone to run away with money?
Chilimba was not done, was like a daily thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it started like a daily thing. Daily thing where like today they will like sonka each other, maybe by that time it was 1,000 kwacha. They sonka 1,000 kwacha, maybe it's just to help out with household furniture, even just groceries, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I want to believe someone else looked at it like, you know, we can do it on a monthly basis with a certain slight amount of money. So it was based on, at first it was based on like on a daily aspect, like the way you know how council does the thing,
Yeah.
when they're passing through these
Rates.
times for rates
So,
and
yeah.
levy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it became like that also.
Mhm.
So it's like also the concept was out of that levy. So you collect levy. So if the way the council
Councils are passing
people
through to
are
get
passing to collect levy, it's a way we can do it.
Yes.
Then the concept also grew to a point where now it is a 1 month thing, where you can put like this one can chilimba for about a month. Maybe this person wants to buy ABCD. Then from there now it was based on a certain small community of people that you know each other and you trust each other.
So trust is very
Trust
important.
was
So,
actually the kind of thing.
So the way Chilimba is, or village banking is, that model is a very good one, and it's empowered a lot. And what I can say is the daily thing is mentioned is still practiced. So there are actually 3 or 4 types. So there are
Types
some
of village banking.
Yes, there's some people who do it daily.
Okay.
Yes, on a daily basis, like today we contribute for you. If you have 100 kwacha or 50 kwacha, the 5 of us.
If it's daily, is the
Yes.
amount fixed or it's random?
No,
amount?
there's a fixed amount.
Okay.
So that if it's 50 kwacha, everyone, the 10 of the people giving you, you know how much you're supposed to have. So tomorrow you also know how much to give the other person.
Okay.
So the daily part is still there. So what has happened on the one on Facebook is you introduce a close friend. So basically it finds I introduce you to the group. So if you've got another person you know has got the capability, you introduce them to the group, and then you are buying each other monthly grocery. So for instance, we buy you. They are buying even as much as 10,000 grocery. So that it will empower you for 3 months. So the money that you're supposed to buy in the second month, you give to the other person. So that is empowered. Yeah. So
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
The bad part
You need some
comes
groceries also.
So the tricky parts, the swindling part we hear comes in as a result of
what is trending and happening.
Yes.
Yeah, so the Chilimba thing is very popular in Lusaka and the Copper Belt, especially village banking, and it has evolved now. I've seen other banks that have started opening village banking accounts.
Are you serious?
Yes, because
I think I've
usually
seen some banks advertising
yes,
like you can
yes, usually
So
people
let's
used
pause.
to keep
Let's
money.
pause there. When you say banks are opening this, so for
Yes.
example, it's my turn to receive the money.
Yes.
Does that mean I put that money in the bank, or first of all you send to the bank and then I receive it through the bank? How does that work?
Yes.
The bank?
So people are giving you, they deposit through that account, then you receive. So what used to happen is people were targeted. They know that they are having a group at that residence to share the money. So
So the risk.
yes, the criminals would get
That's
wind
really-
and just pounce on you. And you'd find some Chilimba. The one I was telling you where
But
there
don't
are
you think?
50
Don't you think actually?
people, that's maybe a lot of money they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
putting in
1,000.
a
Let's
thousand.
1,000 already.
Yes. So you know if
And
the
all of it
gets-
goes. But you see what happens is on the same thought that you've brought up. It's a situation where, within the same groups, there are elements of people that are not trusted.
Yeah, everyone's
So because you know what happens, it's like me, I have the money, I'm
If
the
the family
then I
gets
tell
money-
you, look at this. I tell you, like, guys, we're meeting at such a place. All the money is going to come.
Yes.
So come pretend with this, and that. You're not even criminals or what, but I've just connived.
Yeah.
So because you're going to get that money as you in him in and all of us. So after that, come on, just come rough me up a little
Yeah.
bit, let
Yeah.
it look like real and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I think the issue of this village banking is a good thing, but I think the security is very compromised
Yes, that's
based
the
on
reason-
that.
That's
I've
the
got
reason why
other.
we've seen a lot of banks are coming in to help. They have seen that the model is quite good, but they are trying to mitigate the risks that are there. So apart from maybe people coming to swindle you, again on the same group, if one is not empowered with knowledge to say you don't consume all the money that you receive if you don't work or you don't have an extra income, you depend on that money that you receive from the other for you to contribute in the next cycle. So you find people need to know the profit, the initial capital, all those
But
basics.
you seems to be very well vested with this whole thing.
Bank.
But I've got an issue here.
I hope it's not just going to buy this bank.
I've got an issue here. You know where I've got an issue? It's like even this village banking. I remember I think I joined one or two.
Yeah.
Where for we'll not mention names.
Yes.
So, but it's a situation where in these village banking groups, there's always that person like the engineer and the person who started it, and this guy seems to know everything, and there are other people that are following, they don't even question, they just know to say, this guy knows everything. And that's why I had a problem, because when I came in, I started questioning that guy. I started asking him, why is it so? And people, he didn't like it, and it's like now the people that were following him started like questioning, who's this guy? Who actually brought him? Can someone who brought him begin to like, this and that.
It's more like a count.
Yes, so it came when we started sharing and what I needed to contribute and stuff. So you see what happened? I remember asking this guy, I'm like, when I calculated, I found to say this guy had miscalculated. There was certain amounts that I was supposed to be given, and this guy was saying, no, you're supposed to be given less amount. They said no. That was the reason why I actually left it, because I told them, so what I need to contribute, I'll contribute this much, less this amount. Because I knew if I'm going to give them the whole lot of amount, they'll not give me what. So I had to take out my profit based on my calculations. I even sent evidence to say this is the case. And the guy could not explain, but he just said no, this and that. And every person, especially the ladies, have a problem with that.
Yes. So I also heard of one guy, he was good at Excel, and he's the one everyone interested with.
And mostly, I'm sorry to say this, but mostly you'll find this guy is more inclined to an accountant.
So people would trust him.
No, he's an accountant.
So
you know what he's
I think
he knows his numbers.
Yes, I think those are some of the areas like banks or other like cooperative registrar of cooperatives need to look at, so that they also protect the members. So I've seen certain village banking where the initiators have gotten rich than the people were just joining. There are a lot
of. How different is it? Now you gentlemen have lost me. How different is it from a pyramid scheme? Because a pyramid scheme is clear. If I'm the guy who starts a concept, I bring in Owen. The money that Owen brings in, that's my money. The money that Owen is going to bring in from you, that's Owen's money. So isn't that the same thing?
No, it's different.
How?
So that is what you call, the one that you mentioned is what we call, at social marketing. What we
networking,
network marketing.
Network marketing.
Network. So it
like
grows as you bring people. Your money grows as you
bring
grow
people.
Network.
So it's like there's an interest and the reward that is given to
village banking.
So how different is that from
village banking? In short, it's revolving funds. Revolving funds. So the money we put, for instance, we are 3 of us. We start the revolving fund. The 2 of us, we get your 1,000, my 1,000. We give this one 2,000 plus this 1,000 he has.
Okay,
so
I think
this month goes. Yes. Then when the next month comes,
now there's a part that I want to ask on this one. Maybe MD also help out with this. Look at it from this angle. There's this village banking where it's a revolving fund. Then there's this village banking where there's some kind of people are loaning each other money and it's making interest on that. So I don't know if I'm like lost now on this. Because I've asked him, he says it's like revolving fund. Remember we started from Chinimba?
Yes.
It was like helping each other without interest.
Yes.
But now it has come to a point where now within that revolving fund,
there's a profit,
made. So now it has become an investment.
Yes.
It's not only about revolving funds, but it's
when the money comes in, do I put it in some business?
Yes. So I also joined one particular one, like you've mentioned.
The one that has a profit.
Yes. So what happens is, so if you are a lot, you are a lot, maybe 20 or 50. So for the sake of to reach maybe the 5th person or the 50th person, it will take longer.
Yes.
So what they will do is, as they are giving as the money is revolving, so you'd find if you are the
we'll give him a name, village banking general.
Actually, as he's the only person that can post in the group.
He knows everything,
Another thing thing that that helped me to research on this one was the swindling. You know, is it this year and last year?
This year about 5 cases, and this is just like a third month. Yes.
So I got interested.
Yes.
What is this swindling and how is it happening?
How's it
So
possible?
I started researching and obviously the types you have mentioned, the networking, market networking, how is it done, how are people benefiting, the revolving fund, the chilimba within Congole and the interest and what. So that's how I started studying, so that maybe just to help out.
Yes, enlighten the public.
Because the other thing that has also given me a passion about this, I've seen it has worked somewhere, and I hear a lot of people, even the Indians.
So
Indians.
All the examples I give you are not from Zambia and are not from Africa. You said it's worked in Brazil, it's worked in India.
Even here, there are some groups. Okay. Yes, there are some groups. I think we can't advertise them here.
Oh, yes.
There's a group that is actually building houses. They have built about 10-year houses. So what they do is they will put money together, like the 10 of you, we give you, you purchase a plot. The next cycle, we give someone, purchase a plot. And then we start now building.
We like that.
Yes.
Like, I mean, literally, you can run your life from off
it's a very
You've got one group for groceries, you've got one group for building the house.
It's a very good concept. Yeah, it becomes a bad one now where there are people with intention just to defraud fellow.
How is that possible?
The question, or how is that possible to defraud? I think I am seeing situations where, like he is saying, this guy seems to be well
vested in
this information. But the challenge that comes in with guys like him, they will not tell you about the security measure. They have not taken keen interest of security measure. Then, if he's the initiator of that group, he does not want to be questioned. And you say, you guys, you don't trust. It's like, let's just leave this. So he threatens these guys like, so the issue that comes in with security are the people that contribute money. Yes. Trust me, if I'm going to put money into something, I'm going to question every bit of it. So the question that comes in here, or the challenge that people do, I'll give you an example. If we're going to give you this, which I've heard, where they say, no, this one's going to be a treasurer, and you trust this person is going to have that money.
Yes.
So one of the security measures people put in is actually, when we are doing that, bring the money. We want to see the actual money.
Yes.
You know, so brings that actual money and go with it. Sometimes in these groups, I've heard also other people were like, today you are the treasurer. When we do the cycle and bring that money, changes goes to Owen.
Okay.
So you don't have a parent treasurer. But the problem and the challenge comes in with you have a parent treasurer. You know, it's tempting with money. We have had people running with billions. We have had people running with billions from institutions, even.
Yeah, so
we don't listen to institutions.
No, that's what I said. We had people running with billions from institutions.
Like you
what more about a village bank?
Yes, like you've mentioned. So you'd find if people can run away from institutions that has got their pledge number, knows their village, who knows what. Most of them start maybe as a church group, you trust each other, you start. One gets drowned in debt or in what, they run away. Some start as a family. I've seen chilimbas as families and they end up fighting and the whole family is integrated here. So there's no legal registration of the.
But don't you think the whole concept now is trying to run away from it becoming formal? Because the reason why it's called village banking, I want to believe mostly village is a word related to people that are not very much knowledgeable. So it's like banking, but like
banking there and banked.
Banking and bank and professional, informal way of banking.
Yes.
So it's like a bank, but an informal bank. Yes. So you understand? It's to run away from those the bank charges. You know, when you want to have access to money, documentation and other things. So that's the reason why the issue of trust comes in. So before you can do anything with this village banking and the rest, you see, what we're supposed to do, and my suggestion. we need to, what is the security of this money? What are the possibilities of us,
being-
someone being swindling us this money?
This one.
Okay, so when we begin to put that security measures, we begin to, because money is tempting. I've got a business deal where someone is telling me, can you supply us this ABCD? And you know, I'm making like, using your
Yeah,
the
yeah,
village
yeah,
banking.
yes.
Because the circle is like, let's say I have the money today on
Yes.
Sunday.
Yes.
Okay,
Supposed to
and
have-
I'm supposed to supply something on Tuesday,
Yes.
and these guys are going to pay me on Thursday.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, when you're going to
Supposed to
meet,
have-
I'm going to bring your money, but
Yes.
I would have made money on top. You
Human-
understand
it's
that?
human nature.
It's human nature.
Yes.
So at some point, I want to believe some are
Let me
tempted.
risk it because this deal is
So some of them have succeeded, and that is the part you were saying. Those that are like the
Top- the
top guys,
initiators.
the initiators, they become richer because they actually want and they're looking for capital to start that business. And when they do it, they use that money because they go like, let's collect a little bit from this one, so that I'm able to
invest in
yeah.
the project.
I think I've heard also, let me add one other thing. I've heard also of these networking, social networking money, something like that, like who was saying. We've heard people being swindled.
Yes.
So those guys, I want to believe that a group of people in the background, and they've got a target of an amount.
Yes.
So they encourage people, no, when you invest this, we'll be able to give you this
Yes.
much at the end of the week. We'll be able to give you that at the end of the... So you encourage people coming in. Now you can imagine why you've got about 500 people. 500 people. Then 500 people, all of them bring about 1,000.
Yeah, that's it.
That means you have about 500,000.
Yes. Then you go.
Then at that particular time, this guy, the target maybe was 400. So this guy knows to say he's not known to the other people, and the guys behind the curtain, they're not known to the people that are investing.
Yes.
They always
All you know is the person that brought you in.
Exactly my point. So when they reach their target,
Cost.
they go. So no, this now you become the administrator of that WhatsApp group, and they begin to ask, even me, I was like, you guys. So that is the top security. A reason I have actually told myself not to be swindled in terms of those. I have told myself, if I'm going to invest that money, I need to know where the money goes.
Yes.
Secondly, I also need to know who is actually handling
Yes.
the money.
The entire
And if I'm going to be given profit out of the money that I've invested, I need to know my money is being invested in what that is going to bring the return to me. But challenge people don't ask.
Yeah.
And they don't want you to
Just
ask those
tell you.
questions.
Yeah.
And when you ask, you're a bad guy, and they'll actually check you out and say,
Just the natural to you.
so this one is full of confusion.
I mean, there's a sense that I do my down.
So, like you were mentioning, there's a fun one in terms of security and the risk involved. Someone joined the Chilimba and, he requested to borrow a 50. So they looked at him, where he stays and what. So the guys thought, so they trusted and gave the 50 and all that. So the time to pay came, the guy was not picking up the phone. 3 months went by. So the guys decided to follow him at his yard. He was not picking, and they had very vicious dogs. So they couldn't even enter his premises, he wasn't picking.
So the premises were his. It was
Yes,
okay.
there was his premises.
And he got a 50.
He got the 50. So what the guys did on the particular day when he locked up the dogs, they just went and picked up the old gate. They uprooted the gate and so that's how come now he switched on his phone and started communicating with them. So he gave them, after I think 5 months of running out. So he had already made his profit from it and what obviously. So those are some of the risks and disadvantages that are in those things. Yeah.
But if you look at it, like you have put it, like we were saying at first, there was an issue of revolving fund.
Yes.
Now you see, this village banking is like now it has become an investment on its own.
Yes.
So when I invest 10,000, it's like at the end of the cycle, which I want to believe they do it after 12 months. At the end of the cycle, I expect my money to grow. Okay, I expect my money to grow. So it's like it's growing at a rating, because there's even a rate like 10.
Yes.
They put the interest a bit lower, so that it's one way of empowering each other. It's like you've got a business idea, but you don't have the capital. So you use the village banking to actually get capital.
So the cycle still continues.
Okay.
But because of if you are a lot, how long it takes for other people to access the fund, so they introduce loans.
Okay.
So, for instance,
within the-
yes, within the
yeah,
same
okay.
money, they introduce loans. So, if you borrow from that revolving fund, you expect to pay interest.
Okay.
So that is what makes
So
us.
are you saying actually this village banking is running on both sides of
Yes.
revolving fund?
as well as the soft
But
loans?
don't you think I've heard where I think it is, I think that people are moving away from just revolving funds to more of loan, because it's like they put our monies together and becomes like a pool where you get a loan from. Because they are no longer giving each other revolving funds. There are some that are still doing that,
Yes.
but most of them, especially with the elite,
Yes.
joining the whole concept and
Yes, so
stuff,
it's messing up the industry.
messing up the whole thing, because
With a little bit of the education, you think you know it all.
The Chirimba and the village banking concept, it's the same.
It's the same.
They just spice it up with a bit of feature. So for instance, we can have our village banking rotating.
Yes.
So we'll decide, instead of you consuming the whole 1,000 that I'm giving you,
Yes.
this, you consume only 5 from me, 5 from me. So the other one, it's coming in the pool. Then outsiders, we allow them to start borrowing this money that is remaining here at the interest.
okay, so are you,
So those people who are putting money together, they are still having that money as revolving, but they are leaving some surplus to make a profit.
so in short, you say, if you want, depending on what is good for you as a
Yes.
group, if you want, you can actually pick the concept of the loan and run with it without putting it as a revolving fund. If
Yeah.
you want, you can do both.
Yes.
Or if you want, you can just say, you guys, you just want to help each other as revolving funds.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
so
then
it's
in that case, then
entirely
it's-
to the way you.
But how do we improve and try to bring in the security aspect? Because I think the whole thing.
That's what the critical point is.
Yeah, and I'm a big critic to that.
It's very good. You can't just be throwing money out.
So yeah, it's tricky. So you also bring in a point where the reason why it's called village banking is to assist those who are.
To make it as informal as possible.
Yes, to make it informal for those who don't like the paperwork and what. And then there's this risk, you want to help these people who don't like the paperwork. So the only way you can mitigate this risk is to push them to love the signing, the bringing of the documentation, the getting money through Airtel or actual banks.
Something that is
And
traceable.
yes, and that is what they don't.
Why don't you think people
want to
are running
appreciate.
away from it becoming a cost? Because what they don't want is
Yeah,
Yes,
also
yeah,
running
yeah.
away from costs,
What-
bank charges,
Not a doubt.
these
Yeah.
other charges. No, for you to
Charges.
register, you need this money.
Yeah.
So people are like, "What, you guys? This is our money. Why should we?" So
Sending
people are trying to run away
transactions.
from this. But again, I don't know how it is working, and I do not know if I can throw in a little bit of politics in it, in terms of. Is this village banking not robbing money from the banks? And as a country, we are not making. There's that issue of tax and thing.
Yeah, basically there's a lot of that. That's why maybe Bank of Zambia is trying to see on how to regulate that.
Okay.
So before Bank of Zambia would regulate and put in measures, banks saw the risk of, because they saw in the community that there were a lot of money that were kept in homes because of village banking. So to mitigate that risk, the banks opened up to village banking.
In short, are you
That
saying the
have
banks were
very
making a loss? We're making a loss because people are
Also
taking
that.
money.
Also
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Also
Because
that.
I think that's the reason why the bank
Yeah,
was
I
coming
mean,
with concept of
there's-
village banking
There's
accounts.
this
or
funny
something.
thing, that's the point I want to put. There's this funny thing, people believe that the people with the money are the elite.
Yes.
It's a small percentage. The people with the money is the
Yes.
same.
So-
That's
so
where
where the Lindarama
yeah,
Yes,
that's very true.
yes.
So once those people no longer dealing with the bank, then you see, wait, we want $1 billion.
So-
It's just one person, and you only transact once a year.
Once a
And
year,
then-
so-
no, we need this.
So I think
And just like even to add on, the guys with the big monies, they don't usually keep the money. The money just is for transaction.
Literally, it never stays
Like
there.
it's the safest place and the
You
legal
go
way on how to transact.
Yeah.
But the guys in the compounds, they actually, when they make money, they actually take it to
Yes.
the bank.
Yes.
And the bank is
I-
actually making more money from the guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So once those they leave the system, like,
apart from banks, even just in these other companies that produce actual home-use products. I think they should appreciate the mass markets, density area. Just I could give example of Nigeria. So Nigeria noodles that cost 1 kwacha there, you sell 1 million people. That is already 1 million.
Oh yeah.
So if we also nurture the Soweto, the marketeers, they appreciate the banking, the Airtel, we start nurturing that kind of money they handle.
So is this concept, do you think this concept is a good concept, especially for the majority people out there, or it's actually working against most people? Because I'm thinking about it in this way. As we are talking about security, I don't want us to run away so much from that point. But is it a concept that you can say, okay, it will help and even alleviate levels of poverty in our communities? Or is it a platform where people can get capital for investments and other stuff like that?
From my observation is that it's the trust is very cardinal. That's the primary.
But trust is
trust. So
with business,
if you have someone that's fishy in the system, the entire point is messed up. That's one thing I've come to observe.
So I don't know about you too, but from my observation, I think village banking can alleviate poverty and it can assist a lot. In as much as there are these notable risks that we see on social media, people being swindled here and there. The good part, everything, the good part is rarely broadcast.
But is there a way on how, when we give someone monies to keep, because it's an issue, you cannot keep money, or maybe we say he cannot have the money alone. It's either
maybe someone
it's either he has a phone, but I have the PIN. Okay. And I don't know how we can do
but
that.
There's still a cost. We're trying to run away from that cost of transaction. Those mobile transactions,
they're minimal.
In fact, no, they are getting almost to bank transaction. If you try to withdrawing at the ATM, it's like, is this 15 kwacha? How much is it? I don't even know. Yes. Then now those guys, if you certain amounts, I think if I'm not mistaken, 2,000 should be like 20 kwacha if I'm not mistaken. So the difference is very minimal now. All right. I think as you can see, this is a discussion that we cannot come to a conclusion. Our thoughts are different, and so are yours. Let's just give you the opportunity to share your thoughts in the comment section. What's your experience with this village banking? What are the pros and cons? Enlighten us, because we are not the source of all information here. What we share.
We'll appreciate more comments from you so that we can.
It's like a platform where we can share ideas and actually come up with something that would help the masses out there.
So do share your thoughts in the comment section. What's your experience with village banking? What are the pros? What are the cons? Because if you come to a conclusion here, it will be based on my experience. Just as you can see, Owen has an experience. I think it's an admin. One of these.
The director general.
People and I are very skeptical about this, but it's a very viable opportunity.
He's a victim.
A very optimistic victim. Like
you still want to press on the
So leave your thoughts in the comment section and be sure to like the video and to share it with someone else. Catch you in the next episode.